What happens when you combine Mario Kart and sim racing? This is what we found out in iRacing in my latest endurance race, 12 hours of Road Atlanta. Whenever somebody would donate money, green shells and red shells would spawn on track in the form of little Miata MX-5s.
Oh, that's a little turtle shell.
Look, it would either be a minor hindrance,
Fucking red shell, man.
or it could bring total destruction, and it would mean a swift trip back to the pits, where you'll have time to ponder over your life decisions for the next 2 to 3 minutes. And Bullet Bill, which is basically the same thing as a red shell, but you get wrecked faster and harder. And despite all the carnage, all the spins, and all the bad lucks, we've managed to finish in a pretty respectable position. But nobody could have predicted the way it was all going to unfold. Our adventure starts in P7 on a grid of about 20 or so drivers, excluding the terrorists, the green and red shells and Bullet Bill. And by just keeping our head cool, we managed to gain a shitload of positions just in the first few laps alone. But it was soon our turn to fumble and make mistakes of our own. And it took less than 30 minutes into the race before Bullet Bill was called on track and for the first car to fall victim. If we keep up with this pace, shit's about to hit the fan real soon. And before you know it, it was time for my stint. And oh boy, this was not an easy task. I literally bought this car on track the day before the race. And as you can tell, practice has been going fantastically. And in my first few laps, I struggled with confidence. That is, after we served a stop-and-go penalty in the pits because I forgot to activate the pit limiter.
Ah, seriously. Wait, where was my pit limiter?
And let me tell you, a stop-and-go penalty is absolutely brutal because you have to drive into the pits and then wait for an additional 40 seconds.
Not an ideal start.
After we cleared the penalty, however,
it's hammer time
because we got a lot of time to make up, and I struggled with confidence, not being quite in tune with the car yet.
I'm so fucking scared of this corner.
Getting overtaken left and right, lapped by faster cars, but I never gave up, and I kept pushing.
I'm gonna copy his lines. I'm gonna try to learn from him. Oh, a little smoky.
And it's so scary having to find or get closer and closer to the limit and not make a mistake.
Holy shit, how wide can I take this line?
And try my best to dodge the green and red shells that would occasionally spawn on track.
Oh no. Quoi ça?
Sector 1 was the worst of all. The ideal line here is very tricky to nail, and the track falls away from you once you crest the hill, making the rear very lively, which makes any mistake here very deadly.
Oh no.
But I never gave up. Despite all the moving obstacles on track, we kept pushing, but I also had really good teachers on my team.
Do I stay in third? Troisième ou quatrième? Oh, quoi? Oh, good.
And before you knew it, I was getting better exits, taking better lines.
Oh, that was better. Okay. I need to set up this exit better.
And lap after lap, the lap times were just tumbling down. Sector 1 is still just as scary, but soon enough, I managed to set my fastest lap of the session.
19.9! Yo, the beast has awoken.
As the laps went by, I was falling more and more in love with the track, working my way through traffic, overtaking cars left and right.
Where are you going, bro?
And avoiding the green and red shells on track. I was starting to feel more and more like I was one with the car. We had some close calls, but I've yet to crash or become victim to Bullet Bill. Unlike some other unfortunate souls, by the time I had to come in, I could really say I was really proud of that stint. A very clean one, and we were consistent throughout. But what if I told you we will be able to shave more than a second off the lap times that you see right now by the end of this video? Would you believe me? I didn't at first, but there's one thing that I did that really allowed me to unlock my true pace around Road Atlanta, and that is to observe and learn from faster drivers. Whenever I wasn't racing and I was still in the rig, I would jump on board with either my teammates or the leaders of the race.
Late apex on that curve. Stay tight to the inside. Ride this curve.
This, combined with a few helpful hot lap videos, really allowed things to fall into place for my second upcoming stint. Track conditions were getting worse.
Oh shit!
More and more people were making mistakes, including my own teammates, but with newfound confidence, we hit the track. The first few laps at the start of the stint are the scariest ones. You're sliding all over the place, the tires don't grip up properly.
Where are you going, bro?
But right away, I'm already more on the limits compared to my first stint. Nearly losing the car a couple of times, but managing to carry more speed into most corners. But this first sector is getting really good. I'm being very confident with how much curve I can use, and I can chain the corners quite well and setting up this exit beautifully as well, using all of the track on exit to bring as much speed down the straight as possible. I can tell you my teammates were on the edge of their seats because while exploring the limits, sometimes you get quite close. But I definitely found my footing here, and I was getting faster and faster as time went on. I was loving life, just pumping out laps after laps, and compared to the last stint, we managed to shave off 6-7 tenths maybe from our average lap times. It kind of reminded me of my first ever 24-hour endurance race where I absolutely fell in love with the sport. I was actually lapping faster than P3, but things were only going to get crazier and crazier from here.
No fucking way.
What the fuck?
That right there, my friends, was P5 and 6. This means after that incident, we managed to gain a lap back. Not only did we manage to maintain track position this time, we also actually made progress.
Really big improvement over my first stint, like a few hours ago. A few hours ago, I was doing consistently low 20s. Now I'm doing mid 19s. That's not bad. That's not bad. Excited to see what we're gonna do during our last stint.
And the entire last stint was going to be legendary. At this point, we were doing pretty good. We were running in P6, having gained a position or two compared to where we started. But tragedy was quick to strike. We had quite a few shunts. Some were our own fault.
Yeah, until that last corner. Ah, no.
Some others were also our fault.
Oh, no.
But with only 90 minutes to go, this happened. Not only do we take heavy damage here,
oh my god,
the guy who took us out proceeds to then spin out by himself.
What a fucking idiot.
Unfortunately, the damage we suffered was making us drop back 2 or 3 seconds a lap pace-wise, and with that, we had no choice but to box and put me in early. But this was by far the most comfortable I've ever felt in this car. The donations were ramping up, and the green shells were more and more frequent on track. I was dodging them left and right, sometimes not just green shells as well. You could tell that we were getting close to the final hour of the race. People were losing focus, they were tired. And here comes the next challenger. Due to all the shenanigans,
he's gonna get me here.
We were now running in P10, and this is gonna be for position, which is why I'm going a little bit defensive into the corner, but he sends it really late. I'm gonna try to get a better exit here, but unfortunately, I couldn't. And I've been told that this is one of the fastest drivers in the league, Boucher he's called. And if he's truly faster, then I don't mind staying behind. Maybe I could also learn a thing or two from his lines. Are you starting to sense a theme here? And at this point, we were doing steady 1 minute 19s in terms of lap time. We're staying pretty close, maybe dropping a tenth or two every lap, but
come on, give me a little toe. Come on, baby.
But it seems like he's struggling a little bit with this corner. Literally going deep into the gravel. And this is going to allow me to get a good run out of the last corner. We are within a tenth, basically, of that black and white Mustang. And I'm going to be in the toe into turn 1. Let's see if we can push him into making a mistake here. Throwing the slipstream into turn 1. Have a little look down the inside. Maybe sending a fake dummy. And somehow that works. It goes way too deep. And that's bye-bye, mister. We move. Fortunately, he didn't lose it completely, and he was able to close the gap to us quite fast. And again, I'm going semi-defensive here, and he's not nearly alongside, but he goes for it anyways, punts us off track. What was that for?
Était même pas alongside. Pourquoi il est allé là?
A little naughty, if you ask me. That slide cost us a lot of tire life. That little incident has allowed P6 to lap us again. And again, I want to see if I can leech off of him, learn where he brakes, when he turns in, how much curb to use, how much speed to carry. And before you knew it, I did a flat 1 minute 19, which is a little over a second faster than the lap times I used to run in the first stint. And this was only the beginning. Following closely using the slipstream on this long straight to gain even a few more tenths back. And again, a minute 19, even dipping into the 1 minute 18s. And I was just getting started, getting more and more confident on power, sometimes at the cost of making a little mistake, going wide, costing us time. But this is completely normal. When you're driving on the limit, you will most often find it. I'm trying my best to stay with P6, but it's not looking likely. He boxed way after us and the tire advantage is showing. Plus, he's got great pace, but all we can do now is hammer down. However, the red Aston in front goes a little wide. He comes back on track. He's very unpredictable. What is he gonna do? He goes sideways, 180, 360 somersault across the racetrack.
He just lost it.
I was now running comfortably in the low 1 minute 19s. And again, dipping ever so slightly into the 1 minute 18s. The pace is looking really strong. We've overtaken P9 in the pits, and now we are directly on the back of P8, the little green BM. This is for position here, and he's not gonna let us go. He's not gonna go down without a fight. We're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Through his uphill left, can we get a better exit than him? Braking early to set up the exit, and in fact we do. He has a compromised exit, and now I have the outside line going into the next corner. Can we do the side-by-side? I'm gonna leave room on the inside, take a wider approach. Now it's gonna set us up for the next corner. We're gonna brake early, go for the switchback, and get back on the power earlier. Beautiful exit, beautiful switchback.
Sayonara, kid!
But don't celebrate too early, because we almost... Yeah, he wasn't too happy about that.
Thought it was clear.
With that move done, we're now up to P8. But on the very next lap, something incredible happened. Turns out that was P7, who just got torpedoed by Bullet Bill. Another free position gain, and honestly, I was in my element. Slicing through traffic and pumping out lap after lap. This is what I love about endurance racing, and I was absolutely flying. Lap after lap, I was in the 118s, close to 2 seconds faster than what I used to do in the first stint, and I'm really pushing the limits now. Nearly losing the car on several occasions, but I didn't care. This last stint was gonna be for the history books, but that mistake has allowed P8 to catch up to us with fresher tires. However, pace was still very strong, and he was simply unable to overtake us despite the tire advantage. And we also had traffic helping us along the way to create a shield. Absolute no hesitation. I loved it. As the charity event came to a close, it also meant more green shells and red shells on track. And God, they were scary sometimes, but I always found a way to maneuver around them. But I can't quite say the same for P8 though. However, since we had to end my teammate's stint early, this means we have to come into the box again to refuel for the final stint of the race. And despite the extra pit stop, we retained P7, and this is great news for us. It was now lap 511. Mercedes in front is actually in P4 or 5. In theory, he should have no problem pulling away, but we dispatched them.
Goodbye.
As if they were a bunch of back markers, which goes to show how our pace has improved over the course of the race. Everything was lining up for us to have a P7 finish, but life is funny sometimes, because donations can also include, but does not limit to, donuts and also black flags. Meaning we're gonna have to do a drive-through. I didn't know if it was, at the time it was a server-wide drive-through or it was just targeted at us, but I wanted to get it out of the way as soon as possible and get back out there as fast as possible. Unfortunately, when we started our drive-through, we lost P7 to the black Merc in front of us. With only 8 minutes left to the session, it was hammer time. One last time today, but there's a lot of back markers, some being even as much as 44 laps behind the leaders, and I have to dispatch them as fast as possible if I want to stick with the Merc. There's bumpers, wings strewn about across the track. We already got past one Porsche. Here comes the next. He's gonna move out of the way on the exit of this corner here. He knows we're fighting for position right now. I can respect the hustle. And now setting up this exit is going to be oh so crucial here. The red Aston goes wide, but this allows the black Merc to get past quite easily, but we're still right on its tail. And on the very next lap, again, same sequence of corners, except this time, no back markers. Can we get a better exit than him? And it seems that we do. Look at the traction. Those few laps of tire advantage has given us a big edge, tugging into the slipstream with higher momentum. We're going to easily move past the Merc. Did I also mention that the green shells are going absolutely haywire right now? Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. But this battle is far from over. With less than 30 seconds left to the session, the Merc is right on our gearbox, and we get a bad exit out of that corner, which is going to compromise our exit down the entire straight. Unfortunately, I'm not close enough to the Ferrari in front to get the slipstream, but the Merc behind is, and this is the closest he's ever been. We're gonna have to defend here. This is for position. This is for P7, going very, very defensive to cover off the inside line into the chicane. We have to set up a good exit here, otherwise he's gonna get us into turn 1, but he taps us around. Fortunately, no severe damage, and we have to rejoin the track safely as quick as possible, and so does he. It's gonna have to come down to the last lap now. Can I hold on to this position?
Oh, man.
This is it. We're on the last lap of the race, and he's all over the back of us. Into turn 1, the Aston goes a little deep, and now they're going side by side through this technical section, but the Aston bottoms out over the curb. Which way is he gonna go? And we pick right this time, but the Merc behind is not as lucky as we were, and somehow we are safe. And I can't believe that just happened. Unfortunately, though, we now sat in P8 because that little BM that overtook us into the last lap was actually P8 at the time. But I didn't really care. It didn't really matter where we finished. It was a charity race anyways. What matters is I raced my heart out, and that's what matters most. And you can be damn sure I will be making more endurance videos of the same sort. If you'd like to catch me live in one of these, or just come say hi, make sure you subscribe and follow me on Twitch for when I do go live. Let me know in the comments below what should be the car and track combo for my next endurance race. And this is Formula Kai signing off. I'll be seeing you very soon. Ciao, ciao.
What the fuck? Is he upside down?